I feel like I feel love and connection, but I also feel kind of a desperate, incessant need to kind of make everyone okay. Which, I know it doesn't make any sense, but it...
Well, it makes a lot of sense because you're a born uplifter. Esther watched Jerry every single day, sometimes more than once in a day. The most often phrase that she heard from him was, when I interact with someone, it is my intention to either leave them where they are or uplift them. But I never want anyone to be diminished as a result of knowing me. Well, what that is that's deeply rooted awareness that you came to help people find their satisfaction. And you live in a world where most people are looking for it in all the wrong places. And that worries you. It worries you. But don't be worried, because there isn't anything to really worry about. Because ultimately they will find their connection. Do you want to give us a little more detail and we'll romp around the marble bag?
Thank you. It's kind of the quality in me is a little bit merciless with myself in it, I think, in some way. And I feel like it's untruthful.
What do you mean by merciless?
Maybe the way I matter in it isn't appropriate. I don't matter quite enough in it. I think it's kind of making myself smaller in a lot of the situations, and I think it's not helpful to other people to do that.
Give us more. Merciless. What do you mean, merciless?
I mean, like, maybe I expect quite a bit out of myself, but I don't feel like it's ultimately kind to me or even to them in a way to be so desperate in it. Why do I need them to be okay for me?
What you're expressing to us is what we've been talking about all day here today. And what it is you don't want to be a reactor to their bag of marbles, because you know that when you focus upon what is, you can't be an inspiration or any help in getting them to really what they're wanting. And yet you've got yourself in physical terms between a rock and a hard place, because you're expected to be kind and considerate and aware and sympathetic to where people are. But it goes against the laws of the universe as you're understanding them to be. So you kind of don't know which way to go. But your inner being will guide you. It's like sometimes, it hasn't really happened today, but every now and again we'll point at someone and someone will come running up and we'll say, it's not you. And someone, or often a lot of people in the crowd, will go, oh, like, oh, Abraham, that was really a terribly sad and mean thing for you to do to that person. And we look at the crowd and say, really, have you heard nothing from us? We are not going to argue for anyone's limitations. We are not going to encourage you to argue for limitations. And there's a part of you that understands that that's not helping them. So many people, when they do nice things for people, they don't mean to do it, but sometimes the message that they send is, I do this for you, for I see you cannot do it for yourself. And that is disempowering. And that is the tug of war that you've got going on inside of you. Esther handed a $20 bill out the window of her car as she was turning left on a busy street the other day. And as the man approached, she just said, have a good day. Have a good day. She didn't want to make it some big, oh, here you are, homeless and hungry and stinky. And I have a bag full of money, and I would like to give you from my worthiness into your unworthiness $20. And she loved how quickly he snatched it and ran away. Because it's just $20. And it's just a moment in time that you're sharing. And he's got an inner being too. Everybody that you're interacting with has an inner being. Everyone that you're interacting with has the potential of aligning with their full power. So your work as an uplifter, as a mentor, as a teacher, as a healer, you are all of those things, is to demonstrate through the clarity of your example what being in alignment with who you really are is. And you're not in alignment with who you really are in a sympathetic pose. You're just not. But you are in alignment with who you really are in a compassionate moment. And what's the difference? Compassion means you're in alignment with your source and looking at them. Because when you're in alignment with your source and looking at them, then they're benefiting by your gaze. But if you are sympathetic to their plight, rather than in alignment as your inner being is with what they're asking for, whole different thing.